Now moving ahead, today's session chair is Dr. Vijay Kumar S. Jetty sir, Dean Academics, BYPSO Yakrudi. I welcome you sir. Now I will hand over charge to Dr. Jetty sir. Over to you sir.
Thank you, Professor Aditi Kalia ma'am. Am I audible and visible?
Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, one and all. Respected Honorable Chairman, Vice President Shri Satesh D. Patil sir, in absentia. Respected Colonel S.K. Joshi sir, Campus Director, in absentia. Respected eminent speakers of today's morning session. Respected Principal sir, Vice Principal ma'am, respected HODs, Deans, faculty members, and all participants. I, on behalf of D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, welcome you all for the day 3 session of morning on this 4 days online international webinar with hands-on workshop on artificial intelligence and data science. So today's first speaker, as everyone has spoke, that Mr. Vaibhav Patil sir is going to enlighten us on data science. So before handing over the session to sir, let us understand brief background about sir work. So, sir, he's currently heading business intelligence in Eton, India, Pune. Sir has done his BE in instrumentation in 1996, ME electronics from COEP, Pune, and he started his career as software developer in 1998. He has worked across various domains like telecom, logistic, manufacturing in different geographies in USA, UK, Australia. He has been responsible for data integration and analytics for last 5 years at Eton. As a business intelligence head, he is responsible for developing analytics and data science solution for Eton. So he will be sharing with us about data science. As we know, all business could use a garden where
your voice.
Jetty sir, unmute yourself.
Hello.
So you are audible now.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yeah. So, Mr. Vaibhav Patil sir is a head business intelligence at Eton. He has done his BE in instrumentation in 1996, did his ME electronics from COEP Pune. He has started his career as software developer in 1998, worked across different domains like telecom, logistic, manufacturing in different geographies in USA, UK, Australia, and has been responsible for data integration and analytics for last 5 years at Eton. As a business intelligence head, he was responsible for developing analytics and data science solutions at Eton. So, sir will be sharing his experience about data science. So, as we know, all business could use a garden where data scientists plant seeds of possibility and water them with collaboration. So, without much ado, I'll request Vaibhav sir to start his session.
Okay. Am I audible enough? Good enough?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. So first of all, I would like to thank college management, principal sir, vice principal sir, Dr. Musmade sir for giving me this opportunity to talk at the session here in the college. Today I am aware that we have had a few data science sessions and artificial intelligence sessions already, and there are a few more planned already. I'm going to bring in a little different perspective about data science that will really motivate our students. I understand that students from second year to final year are part of this session, and I'm going to bring in that perspective that will help them understand what this data science field is about and how they can choose this as their career. So let me share my screen here. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to start this session with a story that we all are aware about, right? Can you recognize this picture? It's from one of the very popular TV series, Mahabharat, right? And you can see here Pandav, Sri Krishna, and Draupadi here. Now, why I'm showing this picture? This is a very popular story, and most of us are aware about this story uh, and everything about this story. But are there any facts, or are there any interesting aspects of this story which we are not aware about, and we can find them out? So let me ask one question. So Sri Krishna was friend to all these Pandavas, right? He was guide, he was mentor. But whom did he like most, or whom was he close to most out of these five? Or other question, right? Panchali, I mean Draupadi. Who did she love most out of these five Pandavas? So you don't get this answer anywhere in Mahabharata, right? But can we get that answer from data science? So there was one organization, they did some kind of data analytics on the Mahabharata. And I happened to be at a Gartner conference, and that's where they were sharing the outcome of the analysis that they did. So what they did was they had, I mean, we have multiple versions of Mahabharata, and that's quite huge. Right? They ran data science on that. They used various factors out of that story. So the words that they used, the conversation that all of these people had with one another, the conversations Sri Krishna had with Pandavas, the conversations Draupadi had with other Pandavas, right? And based on that, they try to identify the quality of the relationships all of these people had with each other. And they had a very interesting outcome, which I will maybe reserve for later in the session. Uh, Another example I want to take here. So we all watch YouTube videos on day-to-day basis, right? And what I did was, so we all have our own mobile devices, our computer, and every individual has his or her own device, right? So when I try to watch videos or YouTube on my wife's handset, I got this ad, right? Red Label, Brook Bond Red Label, and this is the ad about tea. When I have teenage daughter, like 14 years daughter, and she has braces on her teeth. When she logs in from her computer on YouTube, this is the ad that is shown to her. It says clear alternative to braces, right? And this is ad by Pariniti Chopra. And then when I log in to YouTube, they show me this ad, Byju's, because they know I have kids and they are going to school, right? And they need some kind of learning support. I see this ad, and they also know I'm into IT field. I'm into position where I will be able to make some choices for organization like cloud. So I also see this ad when I log into YouTube, right? So what are we seeing here? We are seeing that today the companies like YouTube or Facebook, they are showing very personalized advertisers on their platforms. And how are they able to do this? That is because they know who I am, what do I do, what are my interests, and things like that, right? So this is possible just because of data science. There's huge amount of footprint that we create on the internet. For example, I access Facebook, I access Google, I search on Google, I have my LinkedIn there. So I have all my data all over internet, and it's huge amount of data that's there. What do these companies do? They basically try to monetize whatever data that is available on the internet, and that's nothing but data science. If you compare this with the television ads we used to see in past, so for example, I mean, when we were watching, like I again give example of Ram and Mahabharata, right? So we entire family is sitting there, and they would show some ads which really make parents uncomfortable, which was not good, right? But that is not the scene anymore. Depending on the person you are shown the ads.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
actually on screen that advertisement is visible. No PPTs are there. Just
Yeah.
to inform you. Yes, yes. Sir.
Yeah, thanks. So that's how it is. So I'll just quickly talk about the definition. So just so that we are all thinking about the same thing. Probably you all are aware of this already. But just quickly, I'll just read this out. Data science is study of data, right? It involves developing methods of recording, storing, analyzing data to effectively extract useful information. The goal of data science is to gain insights and knowledge from any type of data, both structured and unstructured, right? So this is data science definition. And again, there is no single definition of data science, right? It has got different perspectives, different flavors. But this is one couple of sentences that will help us understand basically what we are trying to do here in this science. Now, we talked about the advertising field. We talked about an example there. What are the other use cases that the data science is being used today, right? So I'll take example of finance here. So finance is one domain where security is very, very important aspect, and the individual's identity is also very important. So, and all of us are using our financial applications, financial transactions on our mobile devices. So it is very important for the companies to make sure there is no fraud, right? So they use these data science techniques and tools to detect anomalies in the transactions. And that's how they detect the frauds that are happening in this domain. The other things are, which are again really very important, credit worthiness of a person. Before giving any loans to any individuals, it is really important for banks to know the credit worthiness of that individual. And only when they find out the person is worthy and he will repay the loans, they give the loans. And you see the loans are being approved in like few minutes today. And that's again possible just because of this science, right? Financial market patterns, we see stock market going up and down. There are different patterns people observe. This is being done in the past manually. I mean, we have heard about people who thoroughly understand these patterns from the past, and they leverage that experience and knowledge to predict the future trends. But that was a manual process, right? And then only very few people were able to do that. But now with these tools and techniques, it's becoming easier and easier. Sales marketing. So today we have different businesses, and all of them want to increase their sales and revenues, right? And also they want to retain the customers. So it is very important for them to understand what products are favored by customers. How how should they arrange those products in the stores or malls, right? So there are so many inputs they are required to increase their revenues, right? So all of those inputs they try to gather from social media, from various other aspects, or various other footprints that we leave on the internet, and all of that data is being used today to increase the sales and marketing. And the reason I'm going through these examples is, um, if you look at the students today, right, every individual is different and every individual likes different things. Uh, some people are inclined more towards finance, some people are inclined more towards art, some people are inclined more towards science. And this is one area where everything is getting merged, right? So one needs to leverage their skills and experience in all the fields to come up with an outcome. And that is the reason I'm trying to provide as much information as possible on these different areas, which will really, so if students, they're passionate in any one particular area, maybe they can choose one of these areas and then really start their journey towards data science. Weather, right? Weather, we always see the weather on television, right? Whether it's country weather, local weather. Now, how do they come up with these weathers? How do they predict these weathers? They have gathered weather data for decades from the past, and they have come up with some mathematical models to represent the climate in a particular region, and then they compare it to the current conditions, and then they basically come up with the prediction for next few days or even in few weeks in some cases, right? So they basically try to detect the patterns in the weather from the past and try to match it up and come up with some kind of predictions for future. Today we see facial recognitions everywhere. Um, any video app you open up on your phone, it detects your face, it detects who you are, and apps like Facebook, they would link to your friends. So all those places you can see the face is being recognized, their voice, text is being recognized everywhere, and that's a very useful area for all the technology companies. So if you are passionate about any of these areas, you may just think about it. Healthcare, I mean, this is one of the very important area where we are today having the fitness trackers. Many people are using fitness trackers. The fitness trackers gathers data about the physical activity. It gathers data about the pulse. It's today there are also some fitness trackers who are coming up with oxygen meters, right? Pulse, what they call is pulse ox meter. So it basically detects the oxygen in your blood. So this data is going to be very useful. So the data from these trackers, and there are a lot of clinical databases that store our data which we are not even aware of. So all this data will be gathered from different sources, and it can be used to recommend prescriptions to the patients, right? So this is another important, very important area from data science perspective. Now, politics. Do we know that political parties use data science techniques tools? So in various countries, I mean, governments use this data science tool to predict political revolutions that are happening across globe. I mean, we daily hear the news from different places on the, like, whether it's Hong Kong or any other place. The governments use this data to predict the political revolution that is happening. Voting patterns. I mean, we have seen some political analysts or political pundits these days. One of the famous name you would be where Prashant Kishore is famous for making political parties successful in their campaign. How do they do that? They use all these tools and techniques to make sure they are focusing their energies at the right place, avoid wrong publicity and things like that. So that is another very upcoming area. I mean, no one thought about it really 5 years ago, right? There can be such a thing for political purpose. Creating fine arts. I mean, art is always a human thing, but today it's being used. Today it's being created by machines as well. Knowing creating fashion trends. Invariantly we all post our pictures, right, and then we get likes on those pictures, and this happens across globe, right? And then we see likes of people. So this data is being used by fashion industry to come up with fashion trends and predict some of the fashion trends that are there. And you see some of the companies are doing better than some of the old companies, and that's because they are adapting to this more data driven culture within their organizations. Why now? Again, we have the internet has really brought the revolution. Everything is connected today through internet. We have internet of things at home. Our cars are getting connected. Industry is getting connected. I think you already had some sessions on industry 4.0. So you see a lot of these devices which are connected, they are generating humongous amount of data, right? And today we have ways to store that data in very inexpensive way. And then we also have huge processing power today, which makes it possible for us to process this humongous amount of data. So last week I read the news about Microsoft Azure, right? They are making world's 5th fastest supercomputer available to anyone they want to use it. So that's the ease of using this power today. 5 years back or few years back, no one really thought that I can get access to a supercomputer, but that's possible now. Every individual, any one of us here on this call can get access to supercomputer on Azure and leverage these tools and techniques on any of the data that's available there. So data is really becoming important today. If we have seen, I mean, we have all of us have read through our history. 20th century, multiple wars were fought for oil or petrol or diesel, right? The stores that are there in Middle East or some other countries, because the oil was very considered very important today. And so some of the world's largest companies were oil companies. What do we see today? The world's largest companies are technology companies who are really dealing with data. There is some background noise there. Can I request all of you to mute?
Yes, please, participants, mute your audio.
And
Yes.
we are seeing the trend now. Companies, even conventional companies who are dealing with oil, are now moving to data. One of the best example we can talk about is Reliance. So they sold 20% of their oil business and are investing heavily into these data related industries. And you would have heard the stories about Facebook investing in Geo platform and things like that. So data is becoming new oil, the oil of 21st century, and that's why it is important now. I mean, data, the companies which are dealing with data, the companies which are dealing using the data are growing faster than other companies. So what is really this science, right? So I mean, even if the word says data science, it's it's actually combination of technology, mathematics, and art. Right? So that's the merger of different fields happening in this field. So, what are the aspects of art that are required for any data scientist, right, or anyone who wants to be a data scientist or be a data analyst? So here are some few things I've listed out that will help any data scientist to be successful. The curiosity, imagination. This is the highest required skill today. So if you track the important skills that are required in the market, uh, more than any technological language or any other skill, curiosity and creativity, these are the most sought after skills today in the market, and these are the characteristics or properties are going to help you solve the problems that are there in the world today. This is going to help invent things, articulate things, right? So this is one thing I would ask all the students to think about. Always be curious, ask questions. Don't take things as they are today. Always challenge the status quo and leverage your creativity. Do not let your creativity die down. The next important characteristics is going to be empathy. So when we talk about things like cutting edge technologies like data science, artificial intelligence, we sometimes forget some of the very basic aspects which are required in even in those latest technology fields, right? Empathy and understanding what people need. This is a very important skill, and I can tell you after being in the industry for so many years, empathy is one skill which is hard to find. It's not really easy to find. I mean, uh, out of 100% employees that I've worked with, maybe 5 to 10% people are really good at empathy, understanding people and what they need. So develop your skills while you are still in campus. Work with your friends, peers, teachers, professors to develop this skill. Communication, again, it's common skill that's required everywhere. But in data science, you really need to improve your storytelling skills to influence and persuade ideas for change. So these are really the art aspects of the data science. Maths, you need to understand a bit of algebra, statistics. Basically, we want to extract the knowledge and obtain results from data, and that's where these tools are useful. Mathematical modeling, basically we use them to make calculation faster and make some predictions. Now, a lot of people are afraid of mathematics. When someone says mathematics, I mean, we just get afraid of it, right? And we want to stay away from it. But things are becoming very easy. We do have a lot of libraries available for this purpose. So we don't need to be a mathematician, right? We just need to have basic good understanding of some of these principles, and then we will be able to use the libraries that are available in the market. So don't be afraid when we say mathematics, right? It's not that complex. And then I'll come to technology tools. Again, I will not spend too much of time on this because we have had few sessions already, I think, that have delved into technical details already. But what I'll talk here on this slide is that, so I mentioned we have a lot of data being generated on internet, and that's being used for data sciences. So not just the data from the internet, right? All the organizations have huge amount of data stored into their IT systems. So we need really some tools which will help us process all of this data. So basically, first of all, one needs to do some technique to extract the data from these various sources, right? So the data is there on Facebook, data is there on YouTube, data is there on different Twitter, TikTok, and whatnot, right? And there are only different forms. In some cases, it is in the form of images. In some cases, it is in the form of videos, and in other cases, it is stored in RDBMS. RDBMS databases, like whether it is Oracle, SQL Server, things like that. So we need some technologies, tools to store that data, extract that data, and warehouse that data, right? So that's where I'm saying here data warehousing. And then I've listed few tools here. I mean, again, there is vast list of tools that are being used out there for data warehousing. I just listed few of them: ETL, SQL, Spark, and Hadoop is really the data file system that's being used there. Then we need some tools that can do analytics on the data that is stored out there, right? And we have some of the simple programming languages, again, R and Python. Again, I would tell our students here that these are some of the very easier languages to learn. R and Python are one of the very, very easy scripting languages out there compared to other programming languages. So I have again mentioned few tools there which will help us do some kind of data analytics, data analysis. Then once you have this data analysis done on data, you need some tools to visualize the data, to show it to others, right? So again, we do have some tools and listed out there. So we have tools like Power BI, which is from Microsoft, ClickView, Tableau, and there are a lot of them available in the market, right? So we need to understand those tools. And then, of course, machine learning. I think you have gone through some of the sessions already. So I mentioned a few tools and skills out there. So if you look at the set here, there are set. So in the past, when I was a software developer, right, I would probably have worked only on one of these things. For example, I'm just taking this as an example, probably ETL, let's say, right? So developers would only work on ETL for their lifelong. But that is not the case here in data science. If you want to be a data scientist, you want to know a little bit from all these areas and not just be expert in one area, right? So that's the thing to understand from this slide. So if I'm a student in, let's say, from second year to final year of college, how can I make data science as my career, right? So a good thing about this field is that it gives you opportunity to work in the area you want to work. So we talked about different domains in first couple of slides. We talked about finance, we talked about advertising, you talked about fashion, arts, and everything. So select the area that you are really passionate about, develop your knowledge in that area, and then other things which are fundamental to data science, like basic mathematics, tools, techniques, and technology. Those things you can start learning. I mean, those things can be learned, but the passion and the interest, that's something that's inherent in you. So if you're really passionate about one particular area, you can be a data scientist in that area. So this is one field which is going to make it easy for students to make a choice of their career. So start as soon as possible. Today, you don't need to wait for completing your college. There is a lot of material available on YouTube, on Google. Start the data science from today. So start to understand the data that's available there. and then start to understand what is that interests you, right? So, and then start it from there. It's everything is out there, everything is available. You just have to start doing it now. And while you are in college, you can develop your other skills like mathematics and some of the people related skills I talked about in one of the slide there. That's really I wanted to cover in this session today, because we have very wider audience, and I thought this would be a useful aspects for a student. And I still have I have only a couple of minutes left for questions, but if sir is okay, we can go beyond for any questions and answers there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Professor Aditi Kalia ma'am to take over the question answer sessions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your profound knowledge with us. Your session is very informative and definitely it will be helpful for students. Now I request all the participants, please raise your hand if you have any questions. Students. Anyone has any question? Please raise your hand. Sir, I think so. There is no question from student side.
Okay, good.
Sir, thank you very much, Weber sir, for giving your time for our students and the participants. So on behalf of management of D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, I thank you for sparing your valuable time and sharing your views, which has been going to be useful for the students. So few glimpses of the sessions, what we have heard from you, that the most important skills what the students have to develop is into three categories. One is art, they have to have technology and the maths. Now to become or to make their career in this data science side, they have to develop their interest, they have to feed that interest, then they have to develop the knowledge in that particular area, they should have the basic mathematics skills developed, tools, techniques, and they need not to wait for any of the other time. During their course of this engineering, they can start with. Now, the most important thing what you had mentioned is that the curiosity, imagination, problem solving skills, creativity, communication, that is a person has to be a good storytelling skills, he should develop it. And along with that, the empathy is the one which is most important thing. And in mathematics, algebra, statistics, mathematical modeling, there are many tools, technological tools for data analysis, data visualization, data warehousing, and machine learning. So you have also mentioned the different stories at the start of your session. So those were very interesting, and that exactly gives what exactly the data science is by focusing on the Mahabharat story, Red Label story. And you have also mentioned that whenever we browse through the internet, we create a footprint of our interest, and that is how we get all the personalized advertisements at our end. So the different types of detection anomalies are there in transaction like finance. You had mentioned about sales and marketing, weather recognition, face recognition things, healthcare, politics, fine arts, fashion trends. So thank you for your such a wonderful session. So that is going to be very useful to all the participants who had participated in this session. Thank you, sir.
Okay,